Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my command. God bless you both. Touch up.
The two touch gloves. Alvarez not engaging Plant for one moment with any sort of eye contact. There's been bad blood between them. Now the words are over, and this is what it's all about. Biggest moment of Plant's life. Arguably, you could say the biggest of Alvarez's career as well, and the action underway. Who's going to be the first to make a scoring and important contribution?
Like we said before, it'd be important for Plant to establish that jab, but there's got to be some substance behind it, because Canelo walks forward. He's prepared to take the odd shot to close that gap down, and so Caleb Plant will have to throw a very hard jab and try and stop Alvarez coming forward.
Alvarez will be patient. He will wait. Don't expect him, I don't think, to go in all guns blazing in the early stages. Although, having said that, if he gets the opportunity, he is a ruthless finisher. Nothing from Alvarez as yet. He's just having a look.
Taking his time. We've said how calm he is in contest. Alvarez just taking a look at Plant. Very important that Plant doesn't move back onto those ropes. See again, Alvarez just edging his way forward, and then it'll be quick injection of pace with the feet, and then he lets the shots go. But Plant has got to avoid moving back onto the ropes, got to box and ring space, so he's got full range of movement himself.
The great Andre Ward, who's been working as a bit of an advisor for the Plant camp, he said, I don't think Alvarez understands just how strong this man is. Nearly 2 minutes gone, and that's the first attempted shot from Alvarez.
Low lead hand from Plant. Will invite the right hand from Canelo Alvarez. Got a little bit better, and every shot he's going to throw, you know what the crowd are going to do. So it's going to be important and very difficult, should I say, for Plant to quieten this crowd, especially when Alvarez is coming forward.
Alvarez expected that he would perhaps find difficulty in the early rounds, and that Plant might establish an early lead, and he's not done very much in the first round so far. Alvarez just feeling him out and having a little look just what he's got, what he's offering. That's what Plant needs to do. Needs to establish range with the left-hand lead.
Yeah, he's got to box it distance and range, but he's got to keep Alvarez off balance, and he's got to, like I say, throw that jab with a bit of power behind it, because Alvarez just walks forward. It's been a quiet round from Canelo Alvarez, and I'll give the first round to Caleb Plant.
Decent work from Caleb, taking that opening round, we reckon. Steve Bunce sitting alongside me, as you expected?
Exactly as you expected. In all fairness, Don, didn't you think that was 180 seconds of vintage Canelo? Not taking a lot of shots, taking a couple of jabs on his forehead and on his gloves. I tell you what I did find interesting, and Plant did it it was a bit over-exaggerated. Plant was so desperate not to stay in the corner when he was going off to his right, which is obviously to Canelo's left, away from Canelo's dangerous right. He actually grabbed Canelo's hip a couple of times to give him leverage to get out of the way. And that put him in a position where he couldn't get caught. So that's clear. And Richie said it straight away, John. After 20 seconds, Caleb Plant must not get trapped on the ropes, and especially in the corner.
He throws his left-hand lead from low down, Caleb Plant, and the danger punch may be that chopping right hand from Alvarez.
Most certainly, but especially if he's moving and drifting around to his left, Caleb Plant. So he's got to watch it, but he'll be quite encouraged by that opening round. He took it, but obviously Canelo Alvarez, it was just a scouting mission.
Well, a quiet opening round. Are we going to have more here in the second? Plant doing okay in the opening 3 minutes. And he'll have been told by his trainer, Justin Gamba, establish that left-hand lead.
He'll be encouraged from that first round. It's got him into the round and got that nervousness out of his system, should I say, in that opening round. But obviously the pressure is going to be intense from Alvarez, and he will quicken things up. It's whether Plant can actually handle that pressure and keep his man at distance behind that straight left hand of his.
Neither of those swings of Alvarez connecting there. That time you hear the power of Alvarez, even though it fired off into the bicep of Plant.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad little left uppercut on the inside from Caleb Plant either, as Alvarez came forward. But this is what he does, isn't it, Alvarez? He just gets closer and closer to the opponent.
Brilliant at closing the gap, and he's looking for an opportunity to land that chopping right hand. Seen it more than once already. He's not found the range yet. That's good from Plant.
Just keeping him at bay with those shots. Now he's got to move.
Body shot and the left hand into the bearded chin of Plant.
If he holds his feet, Caleb Plant, he'll be a sitting duck in many respects. He's got to move, hit and move. That will make things more awkward for Alvarez. But like I said before, he's got to do a little bit of the Billy Joe Saunders style, try and frustrate his opponent. Maybe Danny Jacobs when he stood toe-to-toe, and maybe Golovkin occasionally when he pushed Alvarez back, but it's going to be difficult.
Has he got the power and the strength, though, to do what Golovkin did? Alvarez getting into range, and a couple of solid left hands already in this round. That's good again, though, from Plant.
Just getting the shots up first, Caleb Plant. That's where he's got to move. Can't afford to stay there.
Right into the body, followed by the left aimed at the head. And Alvarez being set problems here, and he's not yet, you sense, quite seen the solution. But he'll said, I'll be patient, I'll wait.
Yeah, he's a very patient.
That's that right hand.
Yeah, very patient man indeed, and he's probably prepared to lose 2 or 3 of the opening 5 or 6 rounds, John.
Well, an interesting round. First round to Plant. Second round, well, there were signs that Alvarez was starting to find the range.
He just got his, once or twice, he sunk those right hands in, but he was actually holding Plant with his own left hand. Here's the thing. Alvarez is doing what everyone knows he makes you do, but at the same time, there's nothing you can do to stop him. Every trainer I've ever spoken to who's had a fighter against him tells you what's going to happen. They think they've got the remedy, you haven't. He makes you, Alvarez, do what he wants you to do. Plant is having to work non-stop, John. Look at Plant's feet. Look at Plant's hands. He's ducking his left. He's ducking to the right. He's trying everything, and he's not even throwing a punch. And what's more, Alvarez is not even throwing a punch at him. He makes you work flat out, Alvarez, before he lets his hands go. That's quality. That's class. That's just absolutely brilliant.
So how did you see that one? Do you think Richie, that Alvarez won that second round?
For me, he won it. He nicked the round, so it's one apiece for me at this stage.
12-rounder. Canelo, of course, on the right-hand side of your picture as you look right now. Plant trying to utilise that big reach advantage, keep it at range.
Keep him busy at the start of this round, is Plant. But again, Alvarez, like we've said, marches forward.
And he has that granite chin.
He's got a great chin, very compact and explosive, but just gradually walks his opponents down. And that's why it's okay having the height and reach, but you've got to put something behind that jab to gain the respect of Alvarez. Movement, most certainly, from Plant is important, but also he's got to hit the target with some shots and get the respect of Alvarez.
Although you see the punch count so far, and it's slightly in Plant's favour, but a long way to go. That's a nice little shot inside from Plant's left hand.
Yeah, nice little short left uppercut on the inside there from Plant. And that's a bit better with his movement, moving off to his right, away from that right hand of Alvarez. Better work from Plant again.
Showing good hand speed and working well behind the left hand, and noticeably keeping that left hand a lot higher than he did earlier in the fight. There's a solid shot from Alvarez.
He just changed the angle there, didn't he? You thought a jab was coming out, but he just whipped a little left hook around the right hand of Caleb Plant. But this is where Plant has got to keep him at bay and start hitting him with some big shots. He's there to be hit Alvarez, but Plant is not. He's not taking up the opportunity there to hit him and push him back a little bit more.
Alvarez stalking him, coming in closer, looking for the opportunity to land the power shots. Plant has his game plan, and he's sticking to it. Alvarez only just missing with that right hand, and solid left as well.
Some decent left-hand work from Caleb Plant. As you've said, Johnny throws it from the hip. That jab, hard to detect. And again, he's having success.
Couple of headshots as they came out of the clinch from Alvarez. Did find the target. No great power in them, but he was accurate. Well, we're coming towards the end of this third round. Briefly, Richie, how do you score that?
I thought Plant did enough to win that round. Not a lot in it, but he's nicked it for me.
We've got a situation here, John, where I've got to tell you, all three of those rounds could have gone all three different ways. It could be 3-0 to one of them. It could be 2-1. It could be 1-1-1. It could be draws. This is really tight. There's not a lot in it. And I tell you what, one thing about Plant I'm really delighted with, he has not shown any sense of fear or disturbance or panic, and he's trying to sink those bodies in. With some of those shots are sickening. We can feel them here from 12 feet away.
If it goes the distance, of course, judges will determine. Here's Justin Gamba with Caleb Plant. That's how Richie's got it right now. And Plant making a decent start into the fourth.
He's making a decent start, but he's got to be prepared to go through the gears, because Alvarez, that's what he will do. He gets closer and closer, then he let the combinations go, and he just turns the screw round by round. And you've got to be prepared to go with him, match him for the work rate.
The Alvarez prediction was between rounds 7 and 9. He believes that when it goes into the second half, Plant won't be able to move at his pace, won't be able to go with him.
Both boxers will be pretty confident in the way things are going. For Caleb Plant, he'll be pleased that, you know, he may have got a couple of rounds under his belt. The rounds have been close, but the pace is suiting him up to now. But at the same time, Alvarez may be thinking, yeah, it's going to Plant. I'm prepared to lose the odd couple here and there, but I will definitely get to him. I've got 12 rounds to do it, and I'll eventually get to this man.
Alvarez into range. Solid body shots. And that's his first, arguably his first big attack.
And the first rare mistake we've seen from Caleb Plant, holds his feet and just takes the shots, but he's got to move, keep the movement going. You hold your feet against this fella on the ropes and he's going to punch a hole through you. You've got to hit, you've got to move, make it awkward. That's a little bit better from Plant. You cannot afford to hold your feet, especially on the ropes.
Alvarez trying to get into close contact and land hurtful body shots. But he's finding Plant as tricky as Plant predicted he would. Plant now taking his ground and for once forcing the Mexican back a little.
You said earlier, Plant is going to be tested mentally and physically.
That right hand only just missed. That's the danger.
And if he slows those feet down, Plant, then it really brings Alvarez into it.
Keeps feinting to throw that right hand when Plant halfway turns his back on him. Hasn't done as yet.
Very clever, Alvarez, the way he just steps across. He doesn't follow the opponent. He just steps across and closes the gap down as Plant is trying to move off to the side. Oh, that's a good shot. Again, Plant holding the feet and trying to take the punches, risking big things there.
Plant took it well, though, and shook his head as much as to say that did no damage. Last few seconds of another close round. And the man who says he lives to fight is being asked a lot of questions by Caleb Plant. How did you get that, Richie?
I thought Alvarez did enough to win that round. I think he's brought Caleb Plant onto some good shots, got him up onto the ropes there. Caleb Plant made the odd mistake of holding his ground there, Steve.
The eye's open. The eye from the slap at the press conference has finally opened. We thought it might open. It's opened up in the fourth round. Will it be a factor? I doubt it'll be a factor, but it'll be an absolute annoyance.
Maybe there.
That's it. It means that Gamba will have to be talking over a cuts man. I thought, if you want to know the honest truth in that round, I thought once or twice there, Alvarez looked a bit frustrated, looked a bit annoyed that Plant was seemed so confident and seemed so comfortable. This is opening up into a really intriguing fight.
Well, it's a close one. Certainly that. 4 rounds gone. Alvarez not hurt at any stage by anything that Plant's produced, I don't believe.
No, not at all. But a better start to the round here from Plant, holding the centre of the ring and just keeping Alvarez off balance with the shots. Like I say, both men will be confident in the way the contest is going. But not a lot in these rounds. If you make a mistake against Alvarez, you hold your feet, you go back onto the ropes, and you just take your eye off the ball, then he's on you. And that can be fatal because he's very, very explosive on the inside, is Canelo Alvarez.
First minute of this round, as the chants go up for Mexico, Mexico. Alvarez not having landed a worthwhile punch yet in this round. Until maybe now. That, I think, though, was blocked. Left hand from Alvarez was low.
But again, it's good from Plant. The movement's good. Like Steve has pointed out, a little bit of frustration creeping in. That's what Plant will want in this contest. A bit of frustration, make him overreach here and there, make him get a little bit desperate with his work maybe. But it's the movement that's important from Plant.
Good right hand there from Plant. Canelo trying to load up on the left hook. Every time Alvarez throws, even if it doesn't land clearly, the crowd go absolutely berserk. Still, though, has a right hand, only just missed. But still, though, you sense that the real fireworks are yet to come.
Just turning the screw. Round by round is Alvarez. That's what he does. Up to now, though, give credit to Plant, making things awkward. He hasn't hurt Alvarez, but he's certainly making things difficult and awkward for Alvarez.
Alvarez just a little bit more spring in his step, perhaps sensing now that he's starting to find a way. Well, that's good from Plant, made him miss by a distance.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether Caleb Plant's right hand, is it okay? It hasn't thrown many right hands. I've seen him grimace earlier on. He's just looking at his face here, just coming towards us, but I don't know. Steve, what do you think? Could he have hurt his right hand?
I wouldn't have thought so, because I don't think he's caught him clean, unless he caught him on the back of the head in one of those shots he threw from the ropes. I think it's more a case of he's protecting himself against those left hooks, Rich, because that's the way he's going. He's moving away to his, he's trying to get away from the dangerous shots that are coming in. He wants to avoid them. His hands are high, unless he's out of distance. When he's out of distance, he relaxes a little bit. When he's close, when he's in range, he's really good at guarding up.
Well, he did a decent job of stifling most of Alvarez's attacks in that round. And again, it's a close one, Richie.
It was a close round. I had it even, actually, John. I had it a 10-10 round. Close round indeed. But it is a little bit awkward for Alvarez. But it could all be going to his game plan.
Well, he'll believe so. And Plant, well, he'll think that he's doing okay. He's blinking a little bit uncomfortably through that right eye. Alvarez hasn't been really troubled physically by the power of Plant as yet, but that's another good fast combination for the man now based here in Las Vegas.
It's good work from Plant, but you just sense that Alvarez hasn't really started yet. He's still getting into his groove. A couple of good shots here from him.
Well, he's threatening to do great things, and he's moving into range without truly delivering so far. Maybe now will be the time.
Just using that Floyd Mayweather defense there with that lead shoulder. Caleb Plant keeps that lead hand very low and just brings the shoulder round, dips the head. Occasionally the opponent can hit the forehead with a shot.
Mayweather, of course, did provide, if you like, a blueprint as to how to cope with this man. Power shots are starting to connect. He's coming into range more.
Yeah, and this is where Caleb Plant has got to throw more shots. It's better from Canelo, but Plant's holding his feet. He's allowing Canelo to work.
Took two big right hands there. Took them well, though. And the Mexican fans in many parts of the arena are on their feet. They sense that the time is coming. Another solid shot from Alvarez.
And a clear example of Plant. He couldn't keep his opponents off with that jab. Throws a couple of jabs, but Alvarez just comes forward, gets close enough, and then lands that left hook. The crowd are on their feet, and again he's getting closer and closer, and Plant's feet are slowing down more and more, John.
And he hasn't got the Golovkin power to put Alvarez into reverse gear, or it doesn't seem so. Alvarez is stalking him, starting to measure him for the big power shots, and it's coming maybe into his part of the fight.
Alvarez now hands very low, but his head movement is increased, and so he's trying to draw the lead basically off Plant, make him miss with the shot, and then he'll come back with a counter. But it's good stuff. The crowd are loving it, and you can see he's gaining more and more in confidence, Alvarez.
Alvarez knows now, I think, that he can't be hurt by Plant, and he almost produced a contemptuous look at the end of that round there as he goes back to the corner. Before we hear from Steve, who won that one?
I had Alvarez winning that round, John.
He's starting to find his range.
And you know why, John? His hands are low. He's standing up in a corner. He's relaxing, and that was a smirk at the end. That wasn't, you said half smile, that was a smirk. And he stood for 1 second and just looked at Plant as he went back. Some big shots in that round. He's finding his range. He's finding his angles. He's finding his timing. And Plant's going to have to, as Richie said, he's going to have to let him know he's there. He's going to have to let those hands go. He's got to start putting a bit of zap behind that jab.
Eddie Reynoso, long-time coach of Saul Alvarez. There's how Richie's got it at the moment. And Alvarez coming towards the rounds now where he predicted that he would end the fight. Into the second half.
It's important now for Plant to go through the gears a little bit more. Alvarez has done well in that last round, so for me, Plant started this contest fairly well, but now Alvarez is getting more and more confident as the rounds go by. And look, you can see the confidence building him in. So it's very important now that Plant gets back into this contest, if you like, and gains that respect of Alvarez. He needs a big round here, does Plant, psychologically as well as physically.
Needs to stem the tide, which just appears to be starting to go against him. It's a good jab.
Good work from Plant, but again, Alvarez coming forward. No respect from him.
That's a good left hand.
So like I said, John, Plant has got to put a little bit more into it. He's got to put something behind those jabs. Got to start finding his opponent with the right hand and trying to stop Alvarez coming forward.
Has he got the physical strength and the power, though, to put Alvarez into reverse gear? That's a nice right-hand counter. Crowd responding to that, but I don't think they were scoring shots from the Mexican.
Having said that from Plant, they're just short chopping right hands here and there. He's got the chance to land a couple of good 1-2s, but he's not doing it. That's a little bit better. Just relying on the left hand, especially with the jab. Got a decent left hook as well, but if he's going to get close to land that shot, then he's going to gamble and risk walking onto a shot himself. But this is better from Plant.
Alvarez, though, you sense almost inviting him in, looking for him to commit himself and to leave an opening, and you think that surely this is the cat and the mouse, and Alvarez is about to pounce. He nodded towards Plant, looking as though he's trying to encourage him to cast caution aside. Plant's happy to continue doing what he's doing, and he certainly had a better round.
Watch your heads, watch your heads.
Russell Mora, who officiated in the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight a few weeks back.
Again, though, John, it's all left-hand work from Plant. Not many right hands are being thrown from him. I really think there may be something wrong, but a good response from Alvarez.
Well, Plant surely dominated the bulk of that round, and despite the threats of Alvarez, he's got to have won that one.
Yeah, I thought he won that round by picking off. We saw Alvarez sit on the ropes there for 40 seconds. He was looking for something. It didn't quite work out. He was looking to shuffle his feet and let two fast hooks go. You can see him there. He's swiveling around. That's when he came off the ropes. Plant is doing exactly what we wanted him to do. We wanted him not to show any fear. We wanted him to have a go. We wanted him to let his hands go. But it's every round after 6 is a long round against Alvarez.
Make sure that you're doing your best to tie him up when he steps in, okay? You gotta come from here.
Justin Gamba with the words of advice.
Tie him up. Open that left hand up on the inside.
Well, that was a much better round for Plant, Richie.
Yes, I thought Plant won the round myself. It was a good end to the round from Alvarez, the last 20 seconds or so. Then he just gave the crowd what they wanted to see. But for most of that round, better work with the lead hand, especially from Plant. But he's got to put a little bit more behind it now, start using the right hand. He's got to bring that into play a little bit more, John.
Start using the right hand if he can. As Richie says, he didn't seem to have thrown anything like a right-hand power shot for a long time, Plant.
No, they're just short punches on the inside, just little stabbing shots here and there with that right hand from Plant. Point scorers, if anything. He's not really committed with a good 1-2, a good straight right hand left hook combination. it's all been the left-hand work from Plant, and he's been successful here and there, but I would just like to see his right hand brought into play a little bit more.
The crowd, I'm sure, would like to see more fireworks from Saul Alvarez. And he's found it a very difficult night, a testing night.
It's a testing night as long as Plant keeps moving. That's why the crowd are getting a little bit frustrated here and there. They want Plant to hold his feet and make a fight of it. But you know, you've got to box to win the contest. And for Plant, if he holds his feet, then that's going to be bringing Alvarez right into it. And he's going to get into it. His strength of toe-to-toe boxing. That's why Plant's got to keep the movement.
He's done a pretty fair job of avoiding that right hand, Plant.
Okay, stop. Let go. Let go.
Little bit of a chess match right now. Alvarez again with his gloves low, trying to invite the attack from Plant.
He's just a little bit too far away at this stage. Alvarez can't get close, and that's mainly because Plant's using that jab with good effect and keeping him off balance. He's having to start again, and when Plant then moves off to the side, and then he's just making things awkward. That's why you see Alvarez now just quickening the feet up a little bit. He's got to get closer. I wouldn't say he's struggling, but he's finding it awkward.
Well, we've assumed right the way through and in the build-up and in the run-up to this fight that sooner or later, at some point, the power shots like that from Alvarez would surely take their toll. But still, at this point, in the 8th round, there is still the possibility of that big upset.
Well, again, for me, it's a Plant round. But will it be enough here in Vegas with Alvarez coming forward? But for me, Plant won that round.
You know the craziest thing, John? At the time of the fight, when Plant needs to be most cautious and most careful, we're asking him to take the risk because he's on this thin line, Rich. He needs to be forceful. He needs to keep Alvarez's respect. But in being forceful, that's when he leaves himself open.
That's very true, Steve. And also, you know, when he takes the risk, the gap gets closed down a little bit more, you see, and that's why it's a big risk, because Alvarez needs to close the gap down. And if Plant then holds his feet.
Just watching there, fellas, the body language. Eddie Reynoso is a worried man.
That's the right attack. You remember 2 rounds ago when he had a good round and I said he's standing up, he's laughing, he's joking, he's dancing, he's winking at people. Not now. Eddie is reading the right attack to Saul Canelo Alvarez.
It's not going to happen, is it? Surely not. Surely not.
Don't call me surely.
He was a 10-to-1 on favourite to win this fight, Saul Alvarez. And we go now into the 9th. Are those Las Vegas judges going to play their part once more?
I do think, though, that Plant has suddenly realised that it's this movement that is causing the problems for Alvarez. He can't get close. We may see an injection of pace now from Alvarez here and there. He's got to throw more shots, but Plant quite content to stay at range, try and keep his man on the end of that jab. Alvarez has got to do something different here, John. He's got to quicken up the feet a little bit and close that gap down with the head movement to avoid the shots as he comes forward.
Some of the Mexican fans are jeering. They want to see Plant stand and go toe-to-toe with him. Well, he's not that stupid.
No, you box your fight. And like I said before, Billy Joe Saunders made it very awkward for Canelo Alvarez, frustrated him. And
there's a right uppercut in there, but Plant takes it.
Yeah, Plant takes it. And Plant is making things awkward also.
Alvarez stalking him. Taking his space. Getting him into the corner and landing a solid left hand.
Better from Alvarez. Plant sensed the danger and he was soon out of there. And I bet in that corner now, they've been telling Plant, stay off the ropes, stay out of the corners, keep the movement going. And it's not bad boxing, this, from Mr. Plant.
A couple of cute counters from Caleb Plant.
That was a good shot there from Plant. Nice little right hand. The approach from Alvarez a little bit too slow, and the head movement wasn't really there. And it's Plant that seems to be gaining confidence now. So this has swung round again, this contest. In terms of the confidence, it's Plant now that seems to be growing in confidence.
A renowned former journalist, now working in the PR side of the game, was speaking to me yesterday, and I said, you know, if it goes the distance, what about it? And he said, John, you've been coming here long enough to know the score. That's better from Alvarez.
Just caught Plant there with that right hand. Should be doing a little bit more on the inside though, Alvarez. These are opportunities that have been quite rare up to now in this contest, and they just decided to stand and trade. But look at that from Plant.
Fast hands, fast combination, and a moment of embarrassment for Alvarez. Powerful body shots. Plant acts as though it was nothing, but they thudded home and found the target, and he holds his arms aloft. He thinks he's going to win this one. How did you have that, Richie?
Well, I had it for Plant again. I mean, I got Plant ahead now. But like Steve says, those judges could be seeing it totally different. But there's Mike Tyson. He doesn't look too impressed, to be quite honest. But yeah, a Plant round for me. Just glimpses of what Canelo should be doing, Steve. But I thought Plant got it.
You know what we said about 2 rounds ago, that it looks like there's a little bit of frustration in Canelo's work, and there certainly is a bit of frustration in his work. He's missing with big shots. What he's missing with John and Richie is his signature shots, the shots that by round 9 he doesn't miss with. Well, that right hand over the top and the sinking, sickening left to the body.
You've got to give Plant a lot of credit. You know, whether or not he's going to be getting the verdict here, as that was that fast combination ending with the right hand which sent Alvarez backwards, but whether or not he gets the verdict, he certainly proved he is a very, very real fighter in the super middleweight division. And Richie's got him ahead.
Good round for Plant in the previous round, John, and again he started this one. He doesn't want to get too overconfident, or does he? You know, at the moment he's boxing very well on the outside, making things very awkward, and Canelo Alvarez now is getting to him.
Well, you sense an air of, I don't know, he always says how patient he is, but it's getting to the stage of the fight where there almost has to be a bit of desperation for Alvarez. He's got to find big shots. That was a right around the back, which the referee lets him get away with.
Yeah, big shots going in from both boxers now, standing toe-to-toe and trading. What Alvarez may be targeting now also, John, is the body of Caleb Plant. Just missed there with that right hand, but to slow those feet down, that's what he may have to do. Hurt his opponent downstairs to slow the feet down.
Both of them in phenomenal condition, and that conditioning is now being tested right to the hilt. Energy sapping mauls. There's a greater urgency about the work of Alvarez in this round.
Yeah, he can't get to him, can he? But again, Caleb Plant just making the mistakes of holding the feet. Got to keep moving.
Incidentally, if you'll have your own idea watching at home, we've just had a little straw poll of our studio panel, and they've got the fight level. It is still possibly very much in the balance in the 10th round, and a lot of people thought it would have ended by now. Big right hand that was from Alvarez, who's trying to really load up.
Yeah, some big shots going in from Alvarez, but again, Plant, you can see the confidence in him now. He's decided to stand and trade, fight fire with fire, if you like, and having some success here and there. But Canelo Alvarez, you see, that's his strength, when they're standing toe-to-toe and he gets the opponent to hold his feet. That's when he can work the body. This up to now, again, it's another close round.
Alvarez coming on strong, though, in the latter stages. And one thing we know about Alvarez is that he has got this phenomenal chin. And whatever Plant throws at him, you suspect that Alvarez is going to be able to take it. Alvarez has certainly landed the more power shots in this round.
Yeah, it's a close round, but I would probably just go the way of Alvarez there.
That's what fighters like Alvarez do. When they need to, they win a round without going flat out, without taking too many risks. He just got a little bit closer. You know what, John? He might have become a victim, Alvarez, of the successes he's been having. Because you know what he hasn't done in rounds all the way to here? He hasn't set anything up. He hasn't set something up. He hasn't set an attack up with a jab. He's waited, he's moved his feet and let the left hook go. He's moved his feet, thrown the right hand.
Has he underestimated the fellow?
Of course he has. He's never going to admit that, but I'm going to tell you now, of course he has. Hey, let me ask you another question, John. How many of the 16,500 in here in a long-out pressure have underestimated him as well, if you don't mind me saying so? There's an awful lot of people thought they could bet their house on it being 6 or 7 rounds.
Well, you said that it would be a day when Plant proved that he was a very real fighter. You had that one for Alvarez, didn't you, Richie?
Alvarez 10-9, but I've still got Plant up by a round.
2 rounds to go.
And you can tell this is close, John, because the crowd are quiet. You know, Caleb Plant has done a great job in quieting this crowd. That was always going to be important, and he's done that. And they all feel anxious now all around us.
Alvarez looking to create history, remember, here tonight. But Plant also, good shot from Alvarez, and he's found out that he's gone. It was the left hand. It was the left hand. It's taken some time to come, but there in the 11th round, there it is, and a big left hand did it, and Plant now has the job to try and clear his head.
And there's a lot left in this round also. But yes, it's the left hook, and he's got him again, John.
He's looking to take him out right now, Alvarez. Plant has to find a way to hold on, to try and stifle him, but he can't. And down he goes for a second time. The fight's all over. Alvarez has done it. It took a long time to come, but when the opening came, he finished it quite brilliantly. And Saul Alvarez becomes the undisputed world super-middleweight champion by 11th round knockout. Caleb Plant, a tremendous night, but when he had the opening, he took it quite ruthlessly, quite brilliantly.
We said earlier that Caleb Plant was going to be tested physically and mentally, and he's just lost his concentration in that round, got caught with a big left hook, and he didn't recover. I think it was a great finish from Alvarez, who just finished him off with another left hook. He didn't seem to recover from the first one, Plant, Steve, and like we said, physically he was doing very, very well, but mentally maybe just switched off, paid the price, and now he's been knocked out.
I think he was getting, if anything, a little bit too confident. He's taken the first 20 seconds, 30 seconds. He'd gone to Alvarez with his feet there. He was exchanging shots. That finish, though, that was the left hook he had been looking for. And it's the left hook that Plant had been able to ride away from, cover with his right hand, turn away from. But he left himself a little bit static, a little bit high. He was gone from that. He did well to get up because he staggered all over the ring here, John.
There might have been bad words beforehand. There's a huge amount of respect right now between these two warriors.
Absolutely, John, because at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez has been really tested there. He found it very, very awkward, and it seemed to be going the way of Caleb Plant. It was a very close contest indeed, but I just thought Plant was ahead, and as Steve says, he may have just got a little bit overconfident, but he certainly lost a little bit of concentration in that round. He gets caught with the left hook, and you can't afford to make those mistakes mentally or physically against the best pound-for-pound boxer, and he's finished the job, and he's finished it in emphatic style.
Steve, this is one of the reasons that I love this sport, seeing the respect there between those two men.
And all week, John, I've discovered just how much genuine animosity there is. So that's why that is so refreshing. He had to really work down Alvarez. I had him 2 rounds down. I think Richie had him 1 round down. You know, I didn't have any drawn rounds. And I'll tell you what, he was having to work hard. And as you pointed out, he was getting a proper rollicking from Eddie Reynoso in the corner. And they don't rollick each other. Those guys don't look like that. Those guys never, ever lose their confidence. That was a hard fight tonight for Canelo Alvarez, Richie boy.
It was a hard fight because of the movement from Caleb Plant. I think it was good work with his jab, but Alvarez just couldn't close the gap down, and he was getting frustrated. The corner was getting frustrated. The crowd was getting frustrated. But what a champion he is. The first undisputed super middleweight champion. He had to pull that punch from somewhere, and he found the left hook to finish the contest. And once he got him going, he's finished him off in fantastic style. But not a great night in one respect for Canelo Alvarez. It's been awkward, but Steve, I said to you earlier, it would be awkward. I always thought that Caleb Plant would find this contest very difficult.
Richie, let me just tell you this, and I'll get Steve's thoughts on this one. The judges, Dave Moretti, 97-93, Patricia Jarman, 96-94, and Steve Weisfeld from New Jersey, 98-92, and they all had Canelo in control. One of those judges had him 6 rounds up.
Well, you know what? You know, if the one judge that maybe had it only, well, no, the one judge had it, what's his name? Patricia Jarman, who had it only 2 points. Okay, I don't think that was right. I thought it was the other way around. But Steve Weisfeld, 98-92, an odd judge. He's the judge that had Vladimir Klitschko in front at the time when Anthony Joshua knocked him out in Wembley all those years ago, and I had Joshua about 3 or 4 points up. Let me tell you something, that was a close fight. Let's forget the scores for a moment. Let's savour what they're savouring here. The finish, the quality of the finish. Let's not go down conspiracy. Let's enjoy the fight.
And that was a terrific finish that he brought there. That left hook, and then following that up with a savage right uppercut.
Yeah, tremendous work. And, you know, you give the best pound-for-pound boxer half an inch, and then he takes it and finds the left hook. This is the first left hook. What a shot that was. Crouched down and delivered mid-range power shot, and Caleb Plant, you know, he didn't really recover from that, and then there was the right uppercut. It was a tremendous finish, but we know what a tremendous boxer he is. And there's the referee just jumping in. It was a terrific finish, but in one respect, like I said, John, it's not been a fantastic night for Canelo because he's found it very difficult. But we've got to give Caleb Plant more credit. He boxed very awkward, and the way those judges have judged that is, for me, it's not very good at all, because they obviously don't appreciate, Steve, any boxing on the back foot. And there's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's the way Caleb Plant had to box tonight. He had to be clever and sensible on the outside, hit and move and make it awkward and make Canelo frustrated, but the judges haven't seen it that way, and that's disappointing for me.
And for 10 rounds tonight, I've got to tell you, in front of 16,500 of his devoted flock, Alvarez was skinned a little bit tonight. You know, that first knockdown's quite staggering, because the left hook doesn't drop him. The left hook sends him in a position where he hits him with a right uppercut, and that's what he gets up from. That showed heart and bravery. Staggering. Absolutely staggering.
The fact of the matter is, though, that Alvarez, despite the frustrations for round after round, he found a way, and that, I guess, is a mark of greatness. It took him 11 rounds to find it, but when he did, it was ruthless, it was savage, and as a finish, it was well-nigh perfect.
It was indeed, and that's why I say, you know, he's such a well-respected champion, and obviously the crowd love him here, but he is a terrific fighter, and great fighters do find a way. But what is refreshing from our point of view is the way we saw it. The lads back home who know they're boxing in that studio, and they had it more or less even as well. So we're not way out on our scorecards, because people back home who know they're boxing in the studio, they had it more or less even also.
Listen, Richie, you got it absolutely right. We might have known it, experts might have known, the people that really knew it were the crowd, because they went missing for several rounds.
But there he is. There are all the belts, and he has the crown. He is the king of the super middleweight division. And I'm sure Jim Gray will be saying to him, where now? Will he go to light heavyweights? Will he try to do the same there that he's now done to the super middles?
You know, we saw what he did to Kovalev a couple of years ago. You know, Bivol's a younger fighter, but he hasn't got the experience. Beterbiev's a beast, but you know what? He gets hurt and cold. Callum Johnson dropped him. I am telling you, there's some opportunities, John.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute 5 seconds in round number 11. A referee in charge, Russell Mora, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is now boxing's first ever undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, el orgulloso guerrero de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saúl Canelo.